Hi, Lex and Mike. I'm going to go over the wireframe here briefly. First thing to note is pay no attention to colors or fonts or font sizes for that matter. Those are kind of subjective choices that are just made for the simple purpose of displaying the layout of the content. This is going to be a good point of reference also for you guys to say, well, certain content could go here. We might want to add an additional one of these block elements, etc. And I'll go through that and send you a compiled PDF file so that you could print this out and look at it. Mind you, it's at 72 dpi, so well, in this case PPI for the screen, but when you print it out, it'll probably be at 72 dpi. So it's not going to be razor sharp, but for the sake of understanding the layout, it should be sufficient and legible. Um, so one of the things is we're considering here having a sticky header. So this is going to be a 100% wide top header with a navigation, meaning when you scroll down, the navigation will always remain present. This is just, again, a subjective choice based on what I believe to be the importance of information. You guys can switch these around. Just let me know the final navigation layout. Um, and wording, you'll notice that I put about us, join us just like you had, but I didn't put contact us like you have it just because it felt a little bit repetitive. But again, if you want to have contact us, that would be one of the decisions you would just clarify and let me know before we move into the actual design and obviously coding. So here in the homepage, you'll notice there is an 100% width background or image. So we could use a nice clean corporate image, but it would have some text to join it. So we're talking here our header ones, our opening paragraph, and perhaps a contact us button that just jumps straight to the contact page. And then of course this would just be an image in the background. And of course it's supporting text. When you move down, you would have your secondary information, if any. So I would have to go over the Word doc and again, sometimes I took the content that you did have, but then at the same time there may be gaps that could be filled or pieces that could be removed. So bear that in mind. This is very flexible at this point. This is not set in stone, and this is the actual purpose of this exercise. So here you would have your secondary information, and here you could kind of list out certain highlight services because you have many, but maybe you could highlight your top three. That could be the purpose of this area. And then down here, of course, you could have your partnership logos. Moving on to the services page, you'll notice that the layout now condenses. The layout condenses here, so there will still be a background image, and there will be an overlaying title. So the title will be legible and will be in HTML, so if you ever need to change the title, that wouldn't be a problem. But the idea is to have a full background with image, but of course the height now is not as large as on the home page. So this kind of is a recurring theme for the interior pages. Now the services, I know that Mike wanted some kind of jQuery usage, and there could be, but at the same time there could be a supporting image and a brief description of the service. If this doesn't work and you still want the jQuery, what we could do is instead of setting it up in columns, we could just set it up as one continuous row. So that if there was going to be a click here to expand for more information, then it would push the other rows down. So something to bear in mind. But if you feel that your service can kind of be summarized within a paragraph or two, then we could definitely go with 2 rows with block elements, 2 per row, and the height, the height would just push the information down, but these would still stay level at every row. So I hope that makes sense. The idea was just to have a supporting graphic, icon, image, etc. to kind of reference each of the services. So again, repetition is important because that's just, in the end, people just want to be able to drill down to your content. But at the same time have some kind of standout, um, some kind of icon or something standing out the content, making the content stand out. And here you'll notice we're using header 3s now. So that was just kind of just to let you know the structure of the page. Second page about us here could headline it with a nice image. a header, some intro content, and this could just be the information that was currently in a bullet list. Again, we could give it a supporting graphic and just kind of list those out again in a very consistent fashion. Moving to the Join Us page, I know we discussed the hierarchy, the navigation on our last conversation, but I just included it just in case. So this is actually a better way to do it, because now we have something documented to say, well, you know what, let's not add the Join Us page, or let's do something else with it, etc. So I just wanted to include it anyways. But again, it has a very repetitive theme to the About Us page: opening image, header, paragraph text, and maybe some more block text below it with a third header, the header 3. And then finally, contact page. This is just to reference an icon, like a phone icon and an email envelope icon. And then, of course, the address. This would be a Google map. And then down will be some second level information. If you want to let them know, this would be maybe another way to kind of, I don't know, give a final closing statement or something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be there by any means. And then kind of going down to the footer, the universal footer is going to be an 100% width footer. There will be a minimum width, so it won't always jump up to, if you have like a paragraph, it won't jump up all the way up here, leaving a white space. There will be always some consistent space, but this will generally be stuck here to the bottom with a lighter tone, solid of your logo, your copyright information, and the footer navigation, which is always good for search engines. But aside from that, this is pretty much the layout that I think mimics some of the competitors' layouts, but it's very clean. Again, this is not introducing colors yet. So, if this is not the stage to where you're like, I don't like this font, I don't like these colors, they're pale. This is just simply focusing on the layout of the content. Once that is decided, then we add its graphical, we add, so to speak, the makeup on top of it. So right now this is just very bare bones information. It's a very important information, because once we decide where everything in the context is going to go, then styling it becomes much easier. So let me know if you have any questions. Again, I'm sending an attached PDF document that has all of this for your reference. And as soon as I can get any feedback or approval on this, then we can move on to the design stage. Thank you.